Still out here exploring this area after all these years. Hi everybody, welcome to Off the Beaten Path. I'm Florida Trailblazer, and I'm out here hiking around these woods. An old town used to exist known as Oriole Ghost Town. Existed back in the 1800s, and it was a small community. It didn't last long. It was just one of the many towns throughout Florida like it at the time that sprung up during the logging, mining, and turpentine eras. You see, those were some of the big industries in this area at the time of the town. It's an old cemetery back here in the woods that existed during those days. It's still there. Long before the town, there were folks that had homesteads and farms out in these places. So there's many layers of history to this wilderness. Being out here today, exploring around this area, just brings back so many memories, because I've been coming out here for many years now, and I'll still come out here as long as I can. It's one of my favorite places. It's beautiful, lots of history to experience and learn about. But years ago, it was one of the first areas I began exploring, and I found a cemetery back there, and it just inspired me so much to learn about more history, not just around these areas, but all around Florida. You see, when I saw that cemetery there in the woods the first time, I thought to myself, there has to be more cemeteries like this in Florida, hidden in the woods, ghost towns, traces from the old days that are vanishing or just hidden away. And I just thought it was so intriguing, not only learning about the history, but the aspect of tracking down the places, researching it, going out and trying to find things. And I still love doing that. It's what inspires me and drives me to keep coming out here all the time. But I remember this was one of the first places I explored that really gave me that feeling. It just propelled me. So I appreciate that the area, after all these years, is still here to enjoy, and hopefully it will be here for a long time to come, so in the future others have similar passions like myself that want to come out these places can see this area and experience the same things that I'm experiencing when I'm hiking these places. It's inspiring to me. Being out here today exploring brings back so many memories from years ago when I was coming out here, initially doing videos and learning about the history. At the time there was a newspaper publication in the area, and they were doing some stories on the history in these places. I'm not sure how it happened, but somehow or some way they came across my videos or knew that I was out here helping to document the history, and they asked if I'd come out and take part in a newspaper article they were doing about the history in this area, along with several other people. And I thought it'd be a great opportunity, so I came out here and we did a nice hike around the area, explored some of the remaining history that's still here. Some of the folks that were involved live in the area and have a great deal of knowledge about the history here. They had photos from the old days, old town maps. So this is stuff that we all went over that day, and I'll never forget it. There was a gentleman there, and he was older, and sadly no longer with us. He was in his 90s at the time of the article. But his relatives actually had lived and worked here in the town when it was active. So listening to him discuss the history was incredible. You could listen to him for hours because it was real history, because it had been passed down to him through his family. And it's sad that he's no longer with us, because there's not many folks like him that know about this town and have family members that actually lived and worked here. So it was a nice treat to be able to meet him, and I'm glad it's all documented there in newspaper articles for people to see for years to come, and hopefully for many years this place will be preserved, and the history that was discussed that day will be here for others to learn about and experience as well. I think it's very important, and it inspired me so much to continue on, not only exploring this area but all sorts of places in Florida. But when I come out to this area in particular, I do my best to keep track of the history that I've learned about, help keep it preserved, educate others about it, but also at the same time trying to scout other areas and discover new history and share about it along the way as I can.